We live in a great country with lots of opportunities, and you hear all sorts of wild and wacky stories, so I'm going to give you one. I had to use training wheels until I was 9 years old. People hear that sometimes and they think, oh, you're making that up. And it's, no, seriously. My brother decided he was going to teach me how to ride my bicycle at the age of 6. So he, being the man of the house, big brother, he took the training wheels off of my bike and put me on the bike out in front of the house, and off I go down the hill. And I was so proud of myself, I turned around to tell him, hey, you need to be watching me, and you need to be seeing this. This is history here. He was yelling something. I couldn't quite understand what it was, but I think I figured it out later, because when I turned around, it was just in time to see the parked car that I ran into. And it busted my head open. It scared me so bad that you could not get me on a bike without training wheels after that. And of course, my brother was embarrassed and ashamed to be seen with a brother riding a bike with training wheels when he was 7 or 8 years old. So we walked a lot. But at the age of 9, I had a best friend was leaving the neighborhood, and we decided to get one last tour of the neighborhood, as it were. And so he gets his little brother's bike out of the garage. It still has training wheels on it, and we take that bike and his bike, and we go around the neighborhood. We get back to the house, and we're done with the bike ride, and I got off the bike ride, and the bike didn't stand up. When I got off of it and walked away, it fell over. That wasn't right, because bikes with training wheels on them stand up when you get off of them. So we were a little surprised and went and looked at the bike, and we found out that while we'd been out riding, one of the training wheels had fallen off. Now, my mindset was so bad that if I'd have known it fell off, I'd have crashed just to make it feel proper. But I didn't know it fell off. I continued riding and rode and had learned how to ride even when I didn't believe I could learn how to ride. So the moral of that story is, even when you don't believe in yourself, you can still learn stuff. And I evidently found out that something called persistence pays, because here I am now quite a few years later, but I'm a professional cycling educator. I teach people how to ride bikes. I teach them how to ride bikes more efficiently, more effectively, and I teach what's called foundational skills. So I understand the slow learner because of my background. I understand negative self-images. I understand bad stinking thinking, as Zig Ziglar used to call it. So we'll talk about some of those things. I understand that riding a 100-mile bike ride successfully requires a certain mental discipline, positive thinking. If you go out there and ride in this ride and you think about how hot it is while you're doing this ride, you're not going to have much fun out there. You don't think about the heat. The guy you were telling stories about earlier that was telling stories starting at mile 60, he knew what he was doing. You don't want to think about how this hurts or that hurts or this, okay? So that's your little nugget and your little bonus. I've had a few more walk in. I want to see some. Good. Let me see who's here so I can check them off the list. Thank you.
Sorry.
No worries. No worries.